Funny thing is, there's still debate on whether or not Luigi was the one who did it. But regardless, ladies and gentlemen, the Joker of our time has arrived. The guy who went insane and said, "Screw it, the American people are angry," and then actually went ahead and killed a CEO. I mean, okay, here's the kicker for you guys. The average hospital stay in the US lasts about 4.6 days and costs pocket change, like $13,262 worth of pocket change. I don't even know if I've ever had that amount of money. Anyone else here broke? Add surgery to the mix, and that skyrockets to numbers that make me more depressed than looking outside this time of year. Some of the most common procedures come with price tags that can exceed $100,000. For families on tight budgets, or worse, without insurance, those numbers aren't just shocking, they're downright devastating. And Luigi Mangione is pretty much the Joker who took out his anger in a way that, like it or not, most Americans can sympathize with. I don't condone it, but I understand it. I will tell you right now that as a resident of Japan, I can go to the doctor and generally pay like $30 or 5,000 yen for any visit. There's no copay, no deductible. I just show up, give them my national insurance card, and usually pay whatever that clinic asks with the subsidy. And then some nice Japanese dude tells me that I'm fine and that I should stop being such a hypochondriac. The United States, on the other hand, is beyond terrible. It's fucking laughably bad. Years ago, I had a problem with my foot when I was living in Wisconsin and used to deliberately avoid going to the doctor because I couldn't afford the prices even on my parents' insurance plan. Why would you consider buying anything if you don't even know how much it's going to cost in the first place? Isn't that what price tags are for? I know the Trump administration made it mandatory for hospitals to make prices visible, but who in the hell thought that it wasn't a good idea in the first place? That's the thing about the United States healthcare system. It's designed like a game where you don't even know the rules until you've already lost, and then you're taken out back to get the shit beaten out of you by these CEOs for more of your hard-earned cash. It's a labyrinth of hidden costs, complex terms, and a system actively hostile to the average person trying to get care. The way this shit is, window shopping would cost $400 every time you walked into a retail store, and then the clothes themselves would be organized based off your insurance type. And on top of all of this bullshit, even those who manage to get insurance aren't guaranteed actual care. They're just fucked in a different way. Companies like United Healthcare have perfected the art of denial more than me after 3 drinks. In 2023, they denied 1 in every 3 claims. Twice the industry average. An average which is already ridiculous to start with, but think about that. People are paying more every month for peace of mind, only to find out that their claims are delayed, denied, or bogged down in endless appeals. Who in the fuck thought it was a good idea for you to pay for potential services when those services risk getting denied 15 to 30% of the time? That's like paying for a meal at a restaurant a week in advance, and then getting told you won't be served because your chef wasn't in network. All because every claim they don't pay is another dollar they can funnel into executive salaries or shareholder dividends. The system rewards insurers for not doing the thing they exist to do, provide coverage. Why would you provide a service when not providing it makes you money? In 2023 alone, United Health Group, the parent company of United Healthcare, ranked $22 billion in profit. And yet the CEO, Brian Thompson, was still under investigation for insider trading, having dumped $15 million in stock ahead of an antitrust investigation. In the US, people are forced to gamble with their health, and that's not something you should ever gamble with if you want a society where all men and women can pursue happiness. You shouldn't have to ask yourself, will this test bankrupt me? Will this hospital even accept my insurance? It's no wonder so many avoid the doctor altogether. And the truth is, the people making the rules, the ones pulling in multi-million-dollar salaries, don't have to live with the consequences. They're insulated from the horrors of the system they oversee. Brian Thompson made $10 million last year, yet his company systematically denied care to the elderly. Meanwhile, the average American is stuck deciding whether to risk medical debt or risk their health. The question isn't, why would anyone avoid going to the doctor? The question is, why would anyone design a system where avoiding the doctor feels like the only sane option? This is where Luigi Mangione, dubbed the beloved vigilante of our time, enters the picture. His story strikes a chord with so many people, not because they condone his actions, but because they understand them. This event is emotionally and sociologically symbolic of a problem that's been going on for way longer than it should. In a system this oppressive, where people are bled dry while begging for basic healthcare, someone taking matters into their own hands feels less like a madman and more like a true Joker moment in the media. I mean, how much rage do you think builds up in a country where you're more likely to see your bank account drained by 2 weeks of medical bills than what you can save in 3 years on your normal salary? Where shell casings at a crime scene etched with deny, defend, depose feel more like commentary than clues. That phrase, by the way, mirrors the infuriating mantra of insurers. Delay claims, deny payouts, and defend the denial in court until the person suing can't afford to fight back. And it's not like people haven't tried to push back. The system just doesn't care. It's the same cold indifference that makes people cheer when someone like Brian Thompson meets his end. Luigi used a gun. They used denial. Let's not pretend there isn't a violent element to the way the United States healthcare system operates. Every year people die because their insurance denies a claim or drags its feet long enough for the condition to become fatal. These deaths are preventable, and yet the system treats human lives as collateral damage in its quest for profits. Take that AI system United Healthcare rolled out, the one designed to systematically deny Medicare claims. The company knew it was wrong. They knew it had a 90% error rate. And they also knew that only 2% of people would appeal. They banked on that. They profited on that. It's no wonder why so many Americans see a CEO like Thompson as more villain than victim. But the outrage isn't just about his death. It's about the lives stolen by the system he helped maintain. The elderly patients left to die because some algorithm decided their care wasn't worth paying for. The families bankrupted by a single hospital stay. The parents who had to bury their children because their insurance wouldn't approve life-saving treatment. When you're fighting for survival in a rigged game, desperation isn't far behind. I don't condone what Mangione did, but if you're asking why I understand why so many people are calling him a hero, I do. Because when the people who run the system treat lives like numbers, it's only a matter of time before someone decides to settle the score. And as always, Scrutley Mutley.